Why is Taiwan so important? In one post, we're going to cover all of it. Imagine if one tiny island controlled the technology that runs your entire life, and two great powers were fighting over that island. That's Taiwan, and here's why it might be the most important place on earth that you've never really thought about. Taiwan makes over 90% of the world's most advanced computer chips, often known as semiconductors. Not just any chips, but the cutting edge semiconductors that power everything, from your iPhone to military drones to artificial intelligence. That's especially big now, AI chips, right? One company, TSMC, Taiwan Semiconducting Manufacturing Corporation or something like that, basically holds the keys to the global digital and electronic economy. And here's where it gets really interesting. Both China and America desperately need Taiwan's chips, but they're both trying to steal Taiwan's crown at the same time, so they don't have to rely on Taiwan. China has been pouring billions into building China has been pouring billions into building their own semiconductor industry because they know depending on Taiwan makes them vulnerable. Every advanced weapon system, every AI breakthrough, every piece of modern technology China wants to build requires chips that they can't make themselves. But America isn't just sitting back either. The US CHIPS Act is throwing hundreds of billions at bringing chip manufacturing back into America, back onto American soil, because they've realized something terrifying. If anything happens to Taiwan, and by anything I mean China invades or unifies it in some other way with the mainland, and then Taiwan, my brain. If Taiwan or China unified with Taiwan restricts exports to the US from the island, then the American economy crashes overnight, essentially. Right now, half the world's trade flows past this one tiny island. But here's the really wild part. That's right, it gets wilder. While both great powers are racing to replace Taiwan's chip dominance, they're also the ones making Taiwan so strategically valuable in the first place. It's the amazing business, the sales of hundreds of billions worth of chips to both great powers from Taiwan that has made Taiwan this powerful, super wealthy island in the first place, and allowed them to reinvest and then keep going forward and forward and forward and developing their chips in a way that the other two powers, China and the US, they just haven't been able to invest that much. It just makes no sense. When you have a monopoly on the very best chips, you can afford to reinvest and stay ahead. And China's SMIC and America trying to, basically take TSMC and have them set up their factories, they will always lag behind to a certain extent. The question is, how far behind? Now, China's proximity and desire to unify Taiwan with the mainland means America feels threatened, fearing that it could lose its tech crown jewel straight into China's hands, and then they would block America off. And on the other side, America's support, potentially military support, makes Taiwan a thorn in China's side and prevents China from exerting pressure that could push Taiwan to accept unification. Because America's always there to sort of back them up, China can't really force the unification matter without threatening something, dire. Because now imagine the alternative where America just completely removes itself from the game. Taiwan would have to unify overnight because China is this giant neighbor and you have no ally that can stop it. But now there's a sort of counterbalance because Taiwan's backed up by the US. Now Taiwan has become, as a result of all this, the ultimate prize that nobody can afford to lose. Everybody wants to replace, but both sides are afraid of fighting over in case things go sideways and the global economy is set on fire. That's my fire animation. I know, it's getting better. I know, it's getting better. I've invested. For Taiwan, it's like being the most popular kid in school that everyone follows, everyone respects, everyone adores, but secretly, quite a few of the second, third place guys want to overthrow and take the top spot for themselves. So next time you use your phone, this is how phones used to be, by the way. You'd go and come out, but now it's just this, I guess. Next time you use your phone or smart whatever, right? Your car, your washing machine, your stupid Temu light bulb that changes color even though it doesn't need to, it's just your ceiling light. But anyway, every time you use one of those, or your laptop, or you get the idea. Every time you use any electrical device, know that a tiny island thousands of miles away from you might just be the reason your device works and the reason the two great powers on earth today can't sleep at night. Tune in for the next episode where I cover why China is catching up in a way that makes America fear that its time at the top, right, as top dog USA, is over. spoiler alert, a centralized Chinese government that can plan long-term and invest long-term is arguably more effective in this race, at least, than a flawed democracy where every 4 years the president might change course, just move the ship in a completely different direction, which results in slowing down progress and not allowing America to have those long-term goals that can compete with those Chinese long-term goals. We'll discuss more in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. For the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one.